Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Jason Wojo here, and I am very, very excited for a number of reasons to be speaking with my friend, Lifeonaire student, Titanium student, and extraordinaire in many, many different ways, Adrian Smude. Adrian, thank you for doing this interview.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And we gotta talk about something here, which is that you just won the Lifeonaire 2019 Student of the Year Award.
Yep, right here.
What was that? Oh, nice, man. All right.
Keep it on my desk,
dude. I'll tell you, man. So if you're a Lifeonaire student, you already saw this announcement. Basically, I guess it was this past fall of 19. Here, we sent out a request from our students of like, hey, like, what has Lifeonaire done for you? Like, how is life different now? And what's changed since you've started this whole Lifeonaire journey? And we got a bunch of submissions. And Adrian, I don't even know if you know this. We had a bunch of submissions, and there was a panel of people that will remain anonymous that all voted. And you came out at the top, man.
Wow.
And so yeah. And so along those lines, though, this by the way, this award was given. The criteria we had were like, hey, this is somebody who's living like a Lifeonaire, someone who has taken action, and who maybe, who when they first came into Lifeonaire, like just really just had made a tremendous transformation within a short period of time, and so you won that. And so, like, I'd be curious for first of all, congratulations, it's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's fantastic. You had some pretty stiff competition, I'll tell you. Like, I don't know if you've talked to other people to see who submitted, but there was some pretty you had some stiff competition, man.
I had no idea who submitted, but I assumed if everyone submitted, I was like, I'm not going to win. my chances of winning were people not submitting.
No, you're not giving yourself enough credit.
There's some awesome people in Lifeonaire, so.
Man, yeah, I'd agree with that, but I'll tell you, you won. And so tell me, man, like, so for the people who don't know you, right? Paint the picture of like what does life look like? Like, let's just kind of paint the before and after picture for people.
So before Lifeonaire?
Yeah. Like, what was life like?
Well, I was an investor, and
now why did you use air quotes right there?
Because just before Lifeonaire, I learned that I was only a hobby landlord, and then as I started Lifeonaire, I was the shiny object syndrome. I'm a wholesaler. I'm going to fix and flip next, and then keep going down the line. And it got me more focused. And the more focus I got, the more productive I got, the more successful I got in business. And I just listened to Lifeonaire. That's really all I did. And all the coaches. And now, I mean, we're in stage 4, so we don't have to work, although the business does still require me, but I don't have to go out and buy another property. My wife, she doesn't have to go to work. So she's PRN in nursing world. So she has to work once every 6 months to keep her job. So
once as in like a day?
Yeah. Or as in today, she actually went in and there was too many nurses on. So she's like, I'll go home. So she was there for 3 hours.
But it still counts.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Now she enjoys it because she doesn't have to go in.
Yeah.
So that's a big mental shift. And she enjoys where she works. So she works, I'd say, a few days a month. There's spurts that she only works once every month or two. And then there's spurts that she'll work 3 or 4 days in a week. Kind of depends on what they need help with. But
Gotcha.
Just the ability to do that, and she can take off to go on vacation or to help family out, it's just huge to be able to do that. And then I can work the business around events like that. I still have to make sure things get done, but when it's your own business and you're not doing all the work, you're able to schedule it. All right, I'm going to do that tomorrow morning, or I have a closing tomorrow, so I just have to get it done ahead of time.
Got it.
So life right now is awesome. I mean, we had to rewrite our vision end of last year. I did it because as everyone in Lifeonaire says, that you eventually accomplish your vision. And that's what happened to me, which was awesome.
And remind me again how long you've been involved in Lifeonaire?
3.5 years, I believe.
Okay. I knew it was somewhere around that 3-year mark. I'll tell you, man, first of all, let me just unpack some of the things you just said. So for those of you who don't know what the 4 stages are, these 4 steps to prosperity that Lifeonaire teaches. Number 1, step 1 is creating your vision. Step 2 is meeting your needs, your financial needs. Step 3, and by the way, I'm going to give you the bullet point version. There's way more detail to this if you want to learn more. But then stage 3 is when you're building an excess, kind of a margin, excess cash. And then stage 4 is investing in income producing assets so that your assets now provide for your income and you don't have to work. It's optional. A lot of people choose to work or do something that they're passionate about, but now it's a get to versus a have to. So that's what Adrian was referring to with the 4 stages there, the 4 steps. And so what I'm hearing is there's a whole lot of freedom, both for you and Erin. As this has unfolded for you guys, one of the things that I remember us talking about quite a while ago is Erin. She had, she didn't have full faith in you at one point. She kind of wasn't bought in yet, right? And and now when you look back and see that, like, what's your reaction and how has that changed for you guys?
Well, it makes it easier for me just to listen to my coaches when they tell me something and I don't fully believe it. But you guys have been right so much. And then it's the same thing. I knew that Erin didn't fully believe it, but she just kind of went along with it. And I just trust now a lot easier when it comes to things like that. Cause they've been right in the past, or, hey, this worked when Erin believed in me. So if I believe in it, maybe it'll work. So
what's that? What advice? So I'm curious here, man. So like, listen, everyone that's heard this has had people that didn't believe in them, What do you have any advice, or kind of like how do you encourage somebody that has someone in their life? Maybe it's not a spouse, maybe it's a friend, and actually I think, and I know a little bit about your story because we've had interactions here over the past several years. But I remember you going through a stage where your friends were kind of like ridiculing you a little bit and thought and didn't have faith in you either. And now it's like they're eating their words, I'm sure. And I don't know if you're rubbing it in or you're not. You're like, hey, I'm cool. It's cool, guys. Don't worry about it. Like I got this. But so you're someone who has faced a lot of kind of a little bit of doubt. Like, and I know what was that like for you?
It's definitely hard. I kind of like to try to prove people wrong.
Oh, okay. So it's fuel for you a little bit.
It is a little fuel. And I just kept pushing through. If I have a strength, it's discipline. So just pushing through isn't, from what I've gathered through life, is not as hard for me as a lot of people, because I do have pretty good discipline.
What do you mean by discipline? Just, you'll do something if you feel like you're supposed to or you have to, or what does that mean?
Yeah. Well, if you tell me you've got to do this for the next 6 months in order for it to work, I'll do it for the next 6 months, and I want to do it perfectly. Because if you ask me in 6 months, what did you do this? I can't. I want to be able to go back and say, yes, I did it every single day, and you're wrong. Not when you start probing, you're like, well, did you really do it? Or did you take 3 days off here, a week off here? I want to be able to completely tell you, no, you're wrong. And most of the time, it's no, you're right.
Now, is that discipline only with, like, for instance, your coaches, or are you like that with yourself too? So you tell yourself, hey, I'm going to do keto or whatever for 6 months, you'll do it?
Yeah, it can be a little to the extreme to where I don't live life a little bit, and Erin helps me balance it out.
Come back here.
Yeah, the Tony Robbins story where I think he didn't eat like chocolate for like 20-some years. And his wife now, when they were on one of their first dates, she ordered something, and she's just like, live a little, you freak. And he realized he was just like so hardcore. He hadn't had chocolate in like 20-some years, I think it was. So I realized I could fall into that trap, and because I just want to keep it up.
Yeah. 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 Well, man, I'll tell you, you've obviously seen the results of this in many areas of your life. If you're not watching the video right now, Adrian the guy's chiseled. He works out all the time. He's just like one of these guys. And by the way, if you're on his Facebook, you're just going to die because he's so nonchalant about it. He's like wearing Speedos around and like, it's just so hilarious. I love it. So man, and so let's dive into that for one quick second here. Why do you think you have so much discipline? And how do you, when you see people without discipline, like, and I've wondered this, by the way, for myself, like for instance, when I was doing a lot of health and fitness coaching, and by the way, whether it's health and fitness coaching, or even when I was doing real estate coaching, or even as a coach in Lifeonaire, like some people don't naturally exude discipline. Like what drives you? Like, why do you think that you're able to show this and other people struggle?
I don't know. And it is frustrating when people don't just do it. I'm like, you just have to do it for this amount of time.
Yeah.
And when people just don't, it's very frustrating. I'm working through that still.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess most things come back from your parents. So I assume I get it from there somehow, but I can't say that they're like the most perfectly disciplined either. So I really don't know where it comes from.
Sometimes I wonder if like people just haven't really decided that they want this thing, whatever it is, bad enough. Yeah, I want to have a six pack, but I really like donuts more than being in shape. Mm-hmm. Or yeah, I really would like to make more money, but I really would like that extra hour of sleep every day versus the extra money that I could make in that productivity time. I wonder if that's some of it too. And sometimes I also wonder if people don't believe it's possible. Like sometimes people are like, what's the point? Like, I know I'm not going to, and they shoot themselves in the foot. They're like, I know I'm not going to stick with it. So why am I going to even try? It's like, it's kind of sad sometimes. I think one of the things that I've found for myself is when I struggle with discipline, and I tend to think of myself as fairly disciplined, maybe not as much as you, but I've realized that for me, being around the right people has been really helpful. So if like my buddies are all expecting me to be at the gym, and I'm going to show up, because if I don't show up, then I'm going to really get it. Right. And, or if someone's, I just try to get around people that can support me and encourage me and just that complement what I'm trying to achieve, not compete with it. So if all my buddies are going out to the bars and drinking beers, and eating pizza and hot dogs, like my chances of being successful are a little less. But that's an incredible attribute that you have, man.
The accountability, I think that's a huge part that you touched on with the gym. That's a huge part for me. And that's, sometimes people ask me like, what is the biggest thing you get out of Lifeonaire, which is so hard to say one thing, but the accountability is definitely up there. Mm-hmm. And because I just want to be able to say I did what I did, which can be hard sometimes to make really hard goals, because like, do I want to do that much work? Because I don't want to ever go into a retreat, or it happens sometimes on my accountability calls that I didn't get done what I said. I try to word them where it's in my fault, not that I'm relying on someone else.
Okay.
But yeah, the accountability is huge. And
so, and so, do you also how good are you at holding other people accountable? Like, are you kind of like are you a softie, or are you like?
Yeah, yeah.
What?
I definitely don't hold other people as accountable as for me, as I hold myself.
Got it. All right. So why, that's interesting, man. I would have expected you, with being fairly disciplined yourself, to kind of put that standard on other people too.
Well, I do, but then I just get quickly frustrated. Like one or two mess ups, I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah, like listen, I'm not going to waste my time if you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get better. I am getting better at that, and
got it.
I know everyone works at their own pace. That's what I remind myself of.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. So for the people that don't know you, your niche in investing is mobile homes. Do you want to, can you tell us a little bit more about what that looks like?
I did not pick this. I was already doing rentals, a nice typical block home that is really nice to take a picture in front of and that all the gurus talk about. And I just started listening to people and couldn't find anything that sounded like the numbers that I wanted. But most of it, I just started listening to the old gray-haired guys, like I call them in the back of the room, and the RIA, have been doing it longer than I've been alive. They all talked about mobile homes at some point. And it was one of those that they know a lot more about what they're doing than I do. And that's what kind of sparks my interest a little bit. And I finally just bought one. So I'm in Florida, and they're called hurricane missiles here.
Hurricane missiles.
We get a lot.
I've never heard that.
Well, I mean, so that's what scared me a lot. I was kind of brought up in that mindset a little bit that they're not safe to be in. But the single thing that really got me over it, a guy said, well, there's 1965s still sitting around. And it was like, they've been through more hurricanes than you have. And I was like, you're right. So it was as simple as that. They're still not the safest place to be when a hurricane comes. But the risk is there, but it's not as much. And so the market just kind of started giving me the properties that can't be invested or purchased with a bank loan. So they're the old ones. Most investors don't like them. Most realtors don't like them. And they're in most of the area that we invest in, they're not so much the trailer trash and the real bad stigma. If you have one on a quarter acre or acre lot, that's very desirable. People want the land and live on their own more than they want, a nice big house.
That's interesting.
So now in another market, when you're in Tampa, it's harder to find that. So they are usually in the real low income or the bad areas where some of that stereotype comes true. And so, like I said, the market just kind of started giving us a lot of those. We started looking at them, and we kind of fill the void of the market that investors don't want them, realtors don't want them, and they're not bank financeable. So when no one wants it, the price drops. And, we're not the only people doing them, but in general, there's not a lot of people that will buy them. They're scared of them.
And so speaking of that, so you're buying these for rental purposes mostly?
Yep.
Okay. And so you're renting them out, and so you're buying them, and are you using your cash, or how are you procuring these?
We do our cash, and then we also do like a JV agreement, so it's not the bad side of debt where you have that monthly payment no matter what. So it kind of relieves you of that.
And so you're joint venturing. Okay.
Yeah. And then we've sold some of those block homes, those nice block homes. Appreciation over the last few years gave us a lot of equity, and we were able to sell like one home and buy 7.
Wow.
So, the cash flow goes up a lot when you do that.
So you bought a block home, sold that, and bought 7 mobile homes?
Yeah. So the house that it's nicer than the house that we live in for ourselves. And we sold that earlier this year, and we bought it 2 or 3 years prior. But the appreciation's, been amazing the last few years. That wasn't the plan. We bought that house. We're going to rent it forever, never sell it or anything like that. And we just became open to new ideas. Yeah,
as the appreciation went up, your numbers probably looked a little different. Yeah, as you could deploy that money a lot more effectively. That's awesome, man. And so, are you buying ones that are in parks then, as well as outside of parks, or?
We've done them in parks, and we still have a few that we pay the lot rent on. They are a little more work. They're way higher ROI. And at this point, I'd rather less work than more money.
Okay.
They worked out great at the time. They're still making us money. We just don't want to buy. We want to get rid of those because now I'm not trading as much time. And for the money, I want more of my time back.
So that's interesting. So what I hear is that maybe when you first started this venture, you were kind of going more toward the cash flow. And now that you've kind of met the cash flow, you're kind of reassessing and saying, hey, maybe a little tweaking here and there, a little modification. Yep. Let's course correct a little bit more in this direction so that you can now
trading up.
Yep.
Trading up in our properties.
Got it. So there's a process. There's an evolution of your business model a little bit. So
trading up in our mobile homes, because a lot of people would want to call me out there that I traded down. I traded down in the property, but up in the bank account. So
right. And so what does a typical day look like for you these days? Like, how much are you working per day, would you say, on average, or per week?
So we're in the process now of training our office manager. So she's taking on a lot of just the day-to-day work. I don't track how many hours I work a week. I love the real estate in the game. Like, my retirement idea is to go to RIA meetings, and like I would go to more of those if they were closer and all the time allowed. But I go to work out every morning. I go to Toastmasters. I go to BNI. Usually meet up at least once a week for lunch with friends. Erin and I usually do something in the afternoon. Last year we did a lot of cycling. We don't do as much right now. I have happy hour every Friday with my friends. I do a pretty good job of planning my week around what I want to do, and then I fill in the business. But again, I really enjoy the business, and I enjoy finding a new strategy and learning something new. So I don't calculate the hours, but I probably do around 40, but it doesn't feel like it. I look forward to the next little challenge. And the things I don't like, that's what we're having our office manager take care of now. So there's still some things I don't like doing that I do on a daily basis. It's mainly because I just haven't had a chance to train her on it yet.
Right. How did you learn the mobile home investing business? Was it from people at the RIA? Was it online? Was it trainings or?
A little bit, all of those. Deals on Wheels is probably one of the best books that I've read on it. I listened to some people, and I really just bought one. It was one of those that I can't screw this up too much. I was tired of being kind of stagnant. And I was just like, well, I'm just going to buy it. Didn't really know what I was doing, and ended up being one of the best deals we have.
Man.
But the ignorance was kind of good there. It was not, maybe I would have kept bidding up or something. And we've had the same tenant in it the whole time. So it's been good. And, now I do study a lot more of it, and I make the phone calls, and I do a little better due diligence than I probably did then. But I just finally took action and just did it.
So what took you? So what pushed you off the cliff there? What made you decide to finally pull the trigger?
I got tired of being comfortable. Okay. And it took a while for me to get tired of being comfortable. I can't explain more than that.
Yeah. Because some people just really agonize over that first deal. Just out of fear, and they years later they end up doing the first deal, sometimes never even. And
I think I can't remember who said, I think it was maybe at my 3-day, like, the quicker you get to your splat, the quicker you can bounce back.
Yeah.
And that was a little bit in the back of my head. I mean, I didn't spend all of our money on it, but I spent a good chunk of our savings on that first one. I was like, and I didn't tell Erin this, but I was like, we're either going to make it well with this, or I'm hitting the splat so then I can bounce back. One of the two is going to happen.
Right. Well, and I would guess like this, and I have not done mobile home deals, but I would guess that there's probably a little bit less of a financial commitment overall. Like, you're not going to be into a project for $400,000 like a house. Like, so your splat should be relatively, it's still going to hurt, but you're not in for crazy amounts of money.
That first one with the land was $16,000.
Okay.
And the first one in the park, I bought that without much diligence. I bought it within 20 hours of seeing it. And I bought that for $5,000. But I knew I had an out through, like, a park had told me they would buy something that was similar to that for $2,000 to $4,000. So that was kind of my thought process. I'm like, worst case, I can sell it to them.
Yeah.
which knowing what I know now, they probably wouldn't have bought it.
Okay.
But I didn't know that. And I was just like, worst case here, it's $5,000. It's got to be worth something.
Yeah.
It's got to be worth something. So I can't lose all of $5,000.
Right.
And I just took the chance and ended up doubling my money in a year on that one.
Man.
So
what is the average rehab that you're going in and putting in there? Like, do you have an average? Like,
last year it was probably $2,000 to $4,000
of renovations.
This year we've taken on a little bit bigger stuff, and it's probably been $5,000 to $8,000.
And that's because is that because you are buying properties in worse condition? Costs have gone up, or you're just doing more, making them nicer. Which?
Making them a little bit nicer, but mainly we're buying homes that need more work. Okay.
And you feel more comfortable in that since you've done more of them now, and you're.
Yeah. And I don't enjoy that because that's a lot of work. I used to say I wanted to fix and flip, even probably until last year. And now I have no desire to ever fix and flip. I've done one, and it was an accidental. We bought in a really bad area. I should have never bought there. It didn't fit our criteria, but I got a little greedy with, the extra money. And long story short, we got a cash offer from a Canadian investor, and I made a little bit of money and got out of there. I should have never been there. So it was a great seminar that I made some money on. And hopefully that's the only fix and flip we ever do.
Right. Man. And that's awesome. You got lucky there. A lot of people get that seminar and it costs them a lot of money. So one thing that I love about your business is your branding. And you reminded me of this as I'm looking at your shirt right now. Was this just a random thought one day where you're just like, hey, this would be funny and like this would be cool, and by the way, those of you who aren't watching right now, Adrian constantly wears these fluorescent green, lime-ish fluorescent yellow shirts that say "My wife buys mobile homes," and he has his phone number on it. And I think I've seen dude, you have everything is branded like this, and it's awesome. It's catchy. Like, where did that idea even come from?
So I didn't want to wear the I buy houses, like the black with the white lettering shirt, because I like to be different. So that I just couldn't wear it because of me. And I was just looking for something else. And I know that women are better for marketing. So I decided, all right, I'm going to put this on the shirt. And it was just an icebreaker was the idea originally. And it was Peter in one of the retreats basically yelled at me and said, get rid of your logo that you're using now in your branding. This is your branding. And I didn't agree with him. And I fought him for a bit. And within a few months, we did it, and everything has gone way up. People love the shirt. It's one of the best business decisions we made.
Dude, it's great. It really is.
Don't tell Peter that he was right, though.
Oh, no way. No. Yeah. And for those of you who don't know what we're talking about one of our mutual friends, Peter Kolat. Yeah, sorry, Polish Peter Kolat. I forgot. He likes to be called Polish Peter. That's awesome, man. That's a really, really cool thing. So now as you're in stage, you've reached the final stage. You're at stage 4. You're at step 4. Your assets are producing. Your living expenses have you thought this far about what's next? Are you going to continue on this path? Are you going to continue to grow the business? Are you have you thought of anything yet? I know it's relatively fresh, and I might be catching you off guard. This is all fairly recent.
So because it's it has been on my mind. We want to get our office manager. She's relatively new in that role, so we want to get her more comfortable in doing more of the things I don't like. And we do want to buy some more properties because we do want kids one day. I hear that they cost a lot of money, so we need some more properties for that. But yeah, I haven't fully lived out the current vision. So we're not in our forever house. Mm-hmm, so that's the next step too, is to actively start looking for that a little bit better. And that's really, I think our big theme is going to be systems. And now that we can focus time on that, because those cost money, and you don't want to put money into that. At least I didn't want to put money into that at the beginning. So now it's just like, all right, buy one more property that can pay for 10 more systems versus, that's going to be a lot of money going out at the beginning.
Man, I think that's a really wise decision. And this is something that I think a lot of people get wrong, whether we're talking about real estate investors or business owners, is, some people will want to systemize their business right from the start and get operations running smoothly and really kind of lubricate the engine, except there's no tires on the car. And so what I think, and this is, it's really, really premature for most businesses until they have the cash flow. Like the number one business, I'd say mistake is not focusing on sales and making money early enough. And so for you business owners out there, I think that, focusing on sales, generating income, then gradually taking things off your plate, creating systems, SOPs, best practices, like really kind of letting the business kind of evolve to be without you, or at least without you there full time, is a much better progression. And so I love that you did that, man. That's I think it's really, really wise, because now you have the income to kind of cover this. Some people are like, well, how do I cover, I want to hire an assistant, but I don't have any money. Well, that means you skipped a couple steps earlier on in the business.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you're struggling with that. So that's awesome, man. Does Erin do anything in the business?
Yeah, she helps out with what she likes to help out with, or with what she's better at than me, and she's just okay doing it.
She's just a celebrity. She's the wife. She's the wife
Yeah.
that buys the houses.
And she hates all the attention. I love the attention, so she doesn't go to that many meetings. And real estate's not like her passion, like it is mine. So she's still finding what that is for her, but she loves what real estate has done for us and the freedom of it. And so she helps out where she can, but it's not. She doesn't wake up thinking about real estate. I do.
Right.
So she likes behind the scenes stuff that she can help out with.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And so, how often are you guys like going on trips these days? I know it seems like every time I see you guys on Facebook, you're somewhere else.
So we made our big goal for 2019 was to go on 12 vacations.
12 vacations.
And that was because we love to travel, but it was also because it was a business goal, really, because we didn't have the income to go on 12 vacations. So in order to do that, we had to make more money. And we knew we wanted to, I'll say, automate, or just have systems in place to be able to manage the business from anywhere. And we didn't have that, but in order to go on vacation that often, you're forced to start doing stuff, like just the simple things of putting contracts on the cloud. I'd be in another state and realize I don't have, it's on my desktop. I mean, It sounds silly, but you don't realize that until you're not home. So that was our goal. And because I'm an overachiever, we're going on our 13th vacation next week. And it really has. It forced us to automate the business, to get things online. Every time we'd come back, we'd have a checklist of things that we needed to get done. And if you can run the business from another state, you can easily run it from home. So that was my philosophy on it. And it did force us to make some more money, because we were right there, just barely getting by, I'll say, before. We couldn't go on vacation, basically. We didn't have the extra income for that. Mm-hmm. So we had to make it. And it gave me a big why. To go out and find more properties. Yeah, man. It was a really fun twist to be able to look for more properties, because that just buying another property wasn't as much fun of an idea as a big why behind it. Sure.
Yeah, that's huge. That's what I've heard it said, that if without the why, you're not going to do the what, and you have to have you have to have a reason for it. But I don't know if I know you were doing a little bit of event promotion, but what were you doing for work before you got into real estate? Like before your mobile homes were making your income, what were you doing?
Event marketing, so event promotion. So anytime it was for third-party marketing companies. So anytime you see a branded tent and people trying to get you to either sign up for something or give something away free. Wow, I was doing that. And unfortunately, it's been about 1.5 years since I've done an event at all. I still enjoy doing it. A few just didn't line up with my time this year that people called me for. Because for one, it was keeping my management skills sharp and going and doing. And I got paid to travel. So I
All
mean, it's
right. So it's kind of
really
fun
hard
for
to
you a
say.
little bit.
Yeah, it's really hard to say no to that.
Got it. Got it, man. That's awesome, man. Well, it's been a phenomenal transformation. I've,
Thank you.
having seen, your changes and your evolution, it's been so, so cool to witness. I know you give a lot of credit to Lifeonaire, but more so, I just want to say, like, you're the one who really did the work here. You and Erin are the ones that made this happen. And so do you have anything like, so for somebody, who maybe they're stuck at a job they don't like, or life doesn't look the way they thought it would right now. Like, do you have it? Like, where does somebody start? Do you have any ideas on like how somebody would, like, I guess I guess what I'm asking is like, and actually, let me ask you, when you first started on this journey, did you think you'd be, I mean, some people are like, yeah, I knew I
No,
was gonna be here the whole time. Or some people are like, nope, I had no clue.
I knew at some point. I did not think it'd be this fast.
Okay.
So something we didn't talk about, it was last year, the goal was to replace Erin's income in 1 year. Now we were already about a third of the way. I think about 1/3 of the way there. So I went the other 2/3 in a year. I did not think that was possible. But I just trusted my coach, trusted the process.
Wow, man.
And I kept saying over and over, was part of it I'll say to let Erin know that she could quit in a year, but without realizing it, it was an affirmation to prove it to myself. And it was just, I mean, as cliche as it is, it was one small step. It was a $165 net income on a trailer. And I mean, that doesn't sound like much, but when you get a few of those going and the snowball happens, it adds up so fast.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't think, when you asked that question, my gut reaction was to say, quick action, one small step. And,
Okay.
I mean, that's such a cliche answer, but it's true.
Yeah.
When I look back, that's what I did. I just took action. Take
action one small step at a time. That's where it ends, I guess. Okay. Awesome. Hey, man. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And I know you've helped other people that have had a chance to listen to this and hear your story. How do people find out more about you or find you?
Facebook, or they can email. This is not my personal number, but you can text or call the number and then tell them you need to talk to Adrian. So you're on a podcast or something, and we'll get my cell phone. And if you're not looking at the video right now, the number is 863-800-0224. But keep it quick, because is that an answering service that's answering? It's our office manager. Okay, so so you don't want to be clogging up the line for real callers. So, all right, thank you, Adrian. Thank you. Appreciate it.